Hi, I am Brittani Washington, and you're tuned into the Not So Cool podcast.
You got this shit knocking though.
Alrighty, we're back again with the Not So Cool podcast.
Yeah, baby.
And you know what it is. We always have a very special guest with us. I'm going to let her go ahead and introduce herself.
Am I the specialist guest?
Yes.
You already know it.
What's up, you guys? It's Brittani Washington. How's everyone doing?
Good. A little tired, but we're going to wake up.
Ladies, these guys look fine as hell. Fresh cut.
Okay.
Muscles tatted up.
Okay. I have tattoo, just can't.
Oh, chocolate. Yes.
Salt and pepper over there?
Yes. Feeling
She
real
pumping
good
me
this
up
morning.
today, I'm woke now.
Yes.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. That's a nice way to. Man, I'm awake now.
They never do this.
Man. Yeah, we want to hear more often.
Yes.
We didn't add it to the podcast.
Yes, I know.
All right, so real quick, for the people who do not know, and they should know, just a real quick rundown and tell us, who you are, what you do,
Okay.
all that fun stuff. Just
Well,
real quick.
again, I'm Brittani Washington. I am an artist who started off playing keys. I started off playing keys for my dad's church at 6. Went on my first tour at 20 for 7 years with Beyonce. After that, came back, finished my degree. Then I went out again on drums with CeeLo, actually on keyboards with CeeLo. Then I did a couple of bass gigs with me on bass, and the latest thing I did with him was on drums. So I stopped calling myself a keyboard player because I'm a singer, but I just so happen to know how to play all these instruments.
You're a bancer.
I'm a dancer
Dancer.
too. Yes, yes. We had
never
those.
heard that term. That's cool.
I was
dancer,
really- yeah.
band, dancer, bancer.
I read up on the other stuff.
Yeah, we had choreography in 5-inch heels. Yes, killed it every night.
Have you danced with anybody like on tour or anything like that? Or
I just
something you
danced in
did?
school.
Oh, okay.
But we had real choreography with Beyonce. It's just that I was playing keyboards too, so we had a limited amount of things we could do with those guitars. But we did the 2-step every once in a while.
Okay, so let's touch back on your background. So you said you started in church when you were 6 years old.
Wow.
So was it? Okay. So your dad got you into it, or was it kind of just something you just wanted to do?
Actually, it's something that I didn't want to do because my sister, everybody in my family, they're all singers.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is the truth. I never wanted to be in the background. You see a keyboard player, she's always in the background. Yeah. But I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be Diana Ross.
Okay.
So my mom...
Oh, you got to be way in the front.
I know. You can't be in the back. Diana is not sitting down playing keys. But... my mom, she told me this, when she was pregnant with me, she was trying to learn how to play piano so hard, like every day. She would practice every day, study every day. Still to this day, she's trying to learn, but I came out like literally playing piano. I had, like when I got myself together and, started walking, and I immediately started playing instruments. And I told her the other day, I don't remember me playing one-noters. I was always playing a chord. If it was like two notes or just a full C major chord, like I don't remember myself trying to learn how to play. It was just already there.
Yeesh.
So, yeah.
Natural. That's dope.
Yeah.
So, did your parents own the church, or were they?
Yeah, they own the church.
So,
They're both pastors.
Where
I
are you from?
Port Authur, Texas.
Oh,
PAT,
PA,
baby.
you know what
Land
I'm
of the
saying?
trio.
Yeah.
Coming back.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So from there, I mean, what shifted? I mean, what?
Well,
it was forced on you, pretty much. Is that?
It was well, it wasn't. I mean, it was forced on me when I had to do it when I didn't want to. So I would wait till everyone was doing their own thing. Then I would close my doors, and then it was like every time I would try to practice the piano or play piano for fun, my mom would come in and be like, "You need to learn this church song because we have choir rehearsal coming up." Blah blah blah. I'm like, man, I'm trying to shed. Like, we didn't have any musicians in my family, so it was like I was the only keyboard player there. I actually was playing drums too at that time, but my mom's a songwriter, so every time she wrote a song, she would just come and get me to put music to it. So, and, in a Baptist church, everybody want to sing. Everybody can't sing, but they, so you just have to learn how to follow
Can you
people.
sing or you sign? There's a difference.
Hey, there are people who just couldn't sing. But it's church, and you don't want to be disrespectful, but especially as a kid, like, I'm not going to tell somebody, man, you're not doing it. You're not, I just went with the flow and just, like, played behind everybody. So,
So, I mean, I'm not going to say do you regret any of that, but did that take away from any of, I guess, your childhood? Were you doing that night and day? Was that
Are you a Michael Jackson?
oh,
Was you a
yeah.
Michael Jackson?
Oh, yeah. Like,
You don't play these keys.
every family has their issues, but my whole thing was, like, I didn't understand what my mom was trying to do. She was trying to make a superstar, actually. So she's just like, oh, you're going to play Monday through Sunday. Like, regardless of how you feel about it, you're going to play and you're going to look good. And, like, she would get up in the morning and press my hair before church. I was a little sideshow.
Yeah. And now that I'm older and I have a child of my own, kids don't understand how serious the world is.
Yeah.
But adults do. And sometimes we forget, because even with my daughter, I'm just like, no, you need to do like this, act like this, move like this. And then I have to remind myself, like, man, she a kid. Dog.
Yeah.
Go have cupcakes. Get out of here.
Man, like, I was so isolated all the time. Like, if we had church banquets, the kids would go in a room that they rented out for them, and the adults would go in the banquet room. But I was always the only kid. So it's like sitting there listening to these grown-up conversations with these adults at church while the kids are eating pizza and drinking Coke, watching a Disney movie. Like, why do I have to dress like this? Why do I have to be here? But I'm glad she did it. I hope she's listening to this.
No, I mean, it pays off, because my parents were like that, because I was an only child I was 7. So I went wherever they went, I went.
Yeah.
And hand me a beer. No, not really, but you know what I mean. I got that comfortable
Right, exactly.
with adults. And you just learn how to maneuver and things like that a lot faster, a lot sooner.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Paid off.
So
I'm only child, period.
Oh,
So.
well, lucky you.
My mom just let me do whatever and learn the hard way. So that's how that was.
Grass is always greener.
So how did you transition from, you mentioned that you played the drums, but how did it become a serious thing, playing the drums?
Well, when I left touring with Beyonce to come back and finish my degree, because I was like, man, I can't be, look, Beyonce gonna be singing Crazy in Love all her life. But she ain't gonna want my old ass on stage, like, singing Crazy in Love with her, can't hardly move. She gonna get somebody young. So I need to get my degree. That's what I said to myself. But when I came back here to go to school, I still wanted to play. So
Where'd you go to school?
Texas Southern University. I started off at Prairie View,
That's
but I
cool.
finished at Texas Southern.
Why you say it like that? I graduated from Texas Southern.
Oh, no. I was just, hey, some Prairie View people get mad at me when I don't call about. Like, yeah, I have family over there, too.
That's bad.
Yeah.
You start at PV, then you finish at TSU.
Yeah.
It's like, what you doing, man?
It's all love.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, continue.
So I, while I was finishing my degree, there was a local bar, Howl at the Moon, and it's like
Oh, yeah. Off of, yeah.
Hadley Street. It's an all-request show. I was like, man, while I'm off, I still need to play. I need to play every day. It's like, and I need to make myself play. What motivates me sometimes is money. So yes, I'm getting, paid to be in this great environment, playing all these different genres of songs. I get to play bass, drums, and keys every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And that's what built up my strength. Like, because 7 years playing with Beyonce on just keyboards, you kind of forget how to move on drums or how to just play bass. But man, playing drums every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, every week, like, really got me ready. And so CeeLo, I guess our old drummer, I was a keyboard player for CeeLo, and our old drummer, she's having a baby. God bless the women. She's having a baby, and he's like, man, well, I guess he saw one of my videos, and he just asked me, he's like, well, can you play drums and not keys? And I was like, flattered that you would believe in me so much. Like, you haven't even heard me play live yet. He just saw one of my videos, but he knew I was a perfectionist. Like, when I'm there, I'm not just on keys. I'm like listening to everything because I'm a bass player too. So it's like, oh, there's not much that you could get past me musically. Yeah. But he knew that I wasn't, if I said yes, it's because I could do it. Okay. I'm not going to make the show sound bad.
So I've been to Howl in the Moon, or is it Moon in the Howl?
Howl at the Moon.
Howl at the Moon several times.
Is that the one in Midtown?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I went, I was kept it PG, but the second time, very rated R. Don't remember half of the night.
Yeah.
I got wasted. All the way done.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah. So, what did you major in? What was your degree in?
Actually, my degree is in radio, television, and film. Oh. And so I did that for a while. I was in a couple of movies. I scored for this movie called Leave It on the Floor. It's on Lifetime. It was showing on Lifetime for a bit. But in college, we shot a lot of films. And so I really liked doing that. I tried to be a news reporter at Fox 26. My schedule was 7:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning. I was at Howl at the Moon, and then from 2 a.m., then from 4 a.m. to 12 p.m. the next day, I was a news reporter intern. So I was on the scene.
No sleep.
No sleep. Like, that's the hustle. You got to go get it.
Yeah.
But I just realized that was something I did not want to do.
Was it the scheduling, or
it was just dangerous. It was so dangerous. Like, oh, we're on the scene where this man is holding his family hostage. I'm like, well, is he armed? Why are we here? They have on bulletproof vests. Why we just have them like in our hand? Like, that's how people don't know. Reporters got to get in and get the story. Like,
so y'all really are in danger.
Yeah, like we are out there. I was on 50. The last thing I did, and I told myself, you are a musician. You don't need to be out here. Like, I was on 59 South, like what is that? Les Land?
Mm-hmm.
Is that
yeah, right before you get to 16.
Yeah, and the apartments right there, like cars going, this man is shooting, the SWAT team is out there, and I got a mic in my hand. I was like, my mom would kill me if she knew I was out here. Trying to tell on somebody. Like, it wasn't for me, so I just stopped doing it, and no one understood why, because I was one of the first students from TSU to intern at Fox 26. That's what they told me, and they were like, well, why are you quitting? It's making us look bad. I was like, hey, I want to keep looking. Like, it's making y'all look bad. This is not for me. It's not a safe thing to do. My grades are great. I'm not a crazy person. Just trust me. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I respect you on that, because a lot of people will get into things and will just keep going with the flow just because, our background and everything, we're always, when they put that pressure on you, you're like, you're the first one.
Oh, no.
Exactly. You gotta make us look good.
Hey.
And then you get stuck in a situation, you're like, yeah. But I respect you on saying, like,
had to make a move.
Yeah, hitting it with the it's not for me.
No, it wasn't. It was not.
So during that time, if you're doing the Howl at the Moon and news stuff, are you still? You're not in school, right?
Oh no, I graduated.
Okay,
graduated.
So you already
got my degree.
at that time. How long were you doing the internship with Fox? How long did that last?
I think that lasted 3 months. Okay. If that, like.
Oh, you made your mind up quick.
Yeah. And it's hard getting these internships. Like, I really had to go to meetings, and, there are all these other people there. The head of the newsroom was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And everybody was like, oh, I just want to be the sportcast. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I just want to report the news. I'm like, hey, if I'm here, I'm trying to be Oprah. She started off in the news, like she started off like this. I'm not trying to like limit myself to the things that you could see right now. Like, I'm like a big dreamer. I have goals. So it's like, if I'm going to do this, I want to be big. Like, I'm going to go hard.
Where do you get that from? Like, is that
Maybelline, my mama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my mom was always like, if you want to be in the drill team, you need to be the captain. And I was in the 10th grade as the captain. Like, most people you can't try out unless you're, a senior to be captain.
Yeah.
And I was good, so I wasn't being cocky about it. I just really listened to everything my mom told me to do. So she was like, if I'm paying $900 for all this stuff, you better be in charge. So I had to go back to my drill team teacher, coach, and I was like, hey, the only way I can be here is if I am the captain. And she was like, well, maybe you should audition. Okay, we're not just letting seniors try out this year. She had to keep it fair,
Yeah.
So I was the captain of the drill team. I was the captain of the volleyball team. I was the captain of the basketball team. I was the captain of the choir. Once you realize what it takes to be the leader of something, it's like you can never just not be the leader. I'm not trying to overstep anybody. It's just a way that you have to respect other people too. You can't just say I'm the boss and not act like the boss and just be.
You got to lead.
Yeah,
by
exactly.
example.
I've never ever told people I was a musical director. Never ever told people I was a boss. I just did what I was supposed to do. I just made boss moves.
Diana Ross mentality.
Hey man,
Being at the
trying to
front of
get
All
it.
the way to the front. That's
Trying to
dope.
get it.
So how old were you when you went on tour for the first time?
I was 20 years old.
Okay.
And actually, my 21st birthday was the BET Awards. Man, that was like the best birthday gift ever.
Oh, so you're saying you went to the BET Awards?
I was performing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
For the BET Awards. I just remember, because before that, I was just a church girl.
Yeah.
And my sister used to play out here, and sometimes she'd try to get me to play, but I had to get up and drive to Port Authur on Sunday mornings to play for my church. So that was my first gig. That was the first concert I've ever went to. That was my first time traveling. That was my first everything with Beyonce. I just literally, bam.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I'm on stage, and Brian McKnight is sitting in front of me, and Mary J. Blige is sitting in front of me, and we're about to play Deja Vu. Bum, ba-dum, dum, dum.
How did that happen? I like to hear the stories of how did Beyonce come across you, or how did you come across Beyonce, or how did that collab happen?
So Beyonce put out she just wanted an all-girl band. So she had all these auditions all over the world. There were people who flew in from Dublin. These people were coming from everywhere. I'm such a loner and such an introverted person.
I don't believe that.
I am. I just,
Cannot tell.
no, seriously. I would rather Netflix and chill. But she put out this advertisement, or she wanted an all-girl band. And so I didn't even know until 12 midnight the same day, the night before.
It was over with? Or?
No, the night before auditions were happening.
Oh, okay.
And so I used to play with my sister at this place called the Sky Bar sometimes.
Off of
when it was on Montrose, yeah. So I used to play there, but on the nights that I wasn't playing there was this girl, Marcy Chapa. Hey, Marcy. She's the percussionist.
Okay.
From Houston, Texas, and she was like, hey, you probably, you know Marcy. She called me. I've never talked to Marcy in my life. We just knew of each other.
Yeah.
I knew she played percussion on the nights I wasn't there, and she knew I played piano. So she called me. Before that, my sister was like, some girl is looking for you. But she actually got in touch with me, and she was like, hey, I just wanted to tell you some auditionings are, they're auditioning musicians, female musicians. I think you should come and try it out. I was like, is it a reality show? Because, my dad is not having that. All the cat fights, Bad Girls Club, I can't put myself out like that.
Yeah.
Church members not having that. So she's like, no, just go audition for it. And so it's like, okay, what do I have to have? She's like, go and buy Live at Wembley, Beyonce, and learn Work It Out. And so I don't know if y'all know Work It Out from Austin Powers Gold member.
Yeah.
Okay,
She's like, go
Oh,
learn.
yeah. Work it out.
Yes, so you gotta work it. Yeah. So
She was gonna let loose.
so she said, learn that. I learned it, and the next day I just showed up. I remember that my mom was like, whenever you go, you just need to look the part and just go off. So I put my hair in this long ponytail. I just wanted to be the Black Madonna. And when you're from a small town, you sometimes have to tell yourself, well, sometimes you tell yourself you have to try extra hard, but you don't. It's like, just be yourself. I wish somebody would have told me, just be yourself. But man, I had a costume on for everybody. Like, let's go. When I walked in the room, I made sure everybody was looking at me. I got there are all these ladies, older ladies with sheet music, and like, so they're so serious with their church clothes, and like, I'm like half naked, like
Having a good time.
Sorry, Lord. Sorry, Lord Jesus. I knew I should have did this. But I went in. It was a big room. It was all white, and the judges were sitting in the dark, and it was the keyboard in the middle, and there was a light that was shining down on the keyboard, like very intimidating.
That sounds pretty intimidating.
Yeah. So, and it's a long walk to the keyboard. So you just walk into the keyboard.
I can see like that moment in the movie, and it's like a spotlight at the keyboard. And
yes, with my outfit. But hey, it's kind of like I knew how I felt. They didn't need to know, so I didn't show it. Like, I just went in there and did my thing. They were like, I guess they didn't take me seriously because I heard everybody playing "Work It Out." You know, everybody was playing "Work It Out" for their audition. I was super small and had that long ponytail to the floor with this cone bra, and they were like, "Well,
you went full.
I went full out. Like, I was like, this is my moment. I gotta go hard or go home."
Yeah.
So they were like, "Oh, you could play anything you want," like that. I was like, they don't believe in me. So I was like, "Okay, are you sure?" So I started searching in my mind for songs, and my dad, he's a pastor, but before he was a pastor, he was a local superstar. And the only reason why he ain't famous right now, because my mama locked him down and was like, "Look, you gonna have all these hoes over here screaming your name, or you gonna have this one by yourself. You gonna stay at home, or you gonna go out there. It's not gonna be both."
She didn't give you no options.
Exactly. So my dad.
I think that's what pastors. That's usually the best pastors. Somebody who's been through some life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a superstar in his own right, but he was a fan of Sly and the Family Stone. So when they said I could play anything, I just started playing his favorite song. "If you want me to stay, I'll be." And I can immediately see the reaction, like, because you went from people like shuffling papers, talking to each other, not paying me any attention. Yeah. And my mom used to do this thing. She used to like wave her hand in the air, and that meant go off. And it's like, oh, half of me is kind of scared if I don't go off. Like, am I going to get in trouble? So every time I am performing, I just see her standing up in church, waving her hand, go off. Because I'm like, I'm shy, but I'm like, you know, when it's time to perform, I just know I just get in beast mode, I guess. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I can do it. I've been there. Let me do it. But anyway, I start playing. I just saw an immediate reaction from them, and when I finished, I got a standing ovation, and they were clapping, and I was like, "Yeah, thank you, thank you. I don't look ridiculous." And so they were like, "Play something else." I was like, "Well, do y'all want me to play Work It Out at all? Like, I've been up all night learning this. I got steps, got the moves," and so I played Work It Out too. And long story short, I made that audition. I found out at 2:00 in the morning the following week. I hadn't heard from them all week. I was at another gig. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's okay. This is your first audition from church. You didn't think you was gonna make it, huh? Like, you gotta like get your feet wet first." They were giving me all these sucks, but I'm not used to not winning. Yeah. And I know, like, I'm a very humble person, but I also know if I work hard and I don't half-ass it, I can get it. So I worked hard, like, so it wasn't a doubt in my mind that I didn't get that audition. That whole week went by and I didn't hear from nobody. And so I was, after my gig at the casino, sorry, Dad. Yes, I was at the casino. After my gig, I went home to my room, to the hotel room, and I wasn't stressed out or nothing. Washed my face, got in bed, was like, got ready to go to sleep, and then the phone rang, 2:30 in the morning. And they were like, "Is this Brittani Washington?" I was like, "Yeah, it's me. What's going on? It's kind of late." "Well, can you make your flight in 4 hours to come to New York and leave that ponytail at home? So I was like, what? Like the feeling of like, yes, I told you I was gonna make it. I told you I'd start knocking on everybody's door. Like we all stayed on the same floor, and everybody just looked at me like ghost. Like, yeah, like one of those. I was like, well, I'm sorry, y'all, gotta go. And people want information, but it's like, oh man, I got to go. I gotta catch a flight. I was driving down the highway 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to get to my apartment in Houston, pack my bags, got on my flight, got to New York. From New York, this is the first time I've
Ever been there,
like by myself. Didn't tell my mom, didn't tell my dad. Like we're a close family, and
So they had no idea this was going on.
No,
yet? Oh, wow.
they didn't have no idea.
No idea about the audition even, or just you going?
Well, they knew that I was auditioning, but see, people forgot about it because I didn't have no call. Like they thought I didn't make it, but I didn't tell them I was flying because they worry so much. So I got to New York. And the same people that I hung out with on the first day I got there are the same people that I was in the band with for 7 years. Like, we kind of gravitated to each other. Mm-hmm. So the next morning, 10 o'clock a.m., we got there. It was a lot of girls. Oh, man. It was so intimidating. It was like, well, at least I made it to New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Made some friends. I was like, I'm going to get some connections, make some connections. I literally stayed on my keyboard. This is how they did the auditions. You get on your instrument, they switch you out. Let's get another bass player in here because they want to get a look too. Beyonce was there, Kelly Rowland was there, Matthew was there, Miss Tina was there, everybody was there. So they're switching people out. Oh my God, thank you, Jesus. I was the only person that stayed in there for 12 hours straight. And I got a little lunch, but people were like, what is this girl doing? Well, how'd that bass player sound? Asking me. And I went outside, and I told my sister, can you tell Daddy where I am? And so I'm on the phone with my dad. He called me. He was like, so you just think you could just leave the church and just go to New York? We got church tonight, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm auditioning right now, and then you hear this guy come in the background. Hey, we need you back on the keys. I was like, Daddy, I got to go.
Daddy, it's Beyonce. Daddy,
yes.
it's Beyonce.
And I understand his, concern because, man, if you don't have a solid foundation, people can make you do all kind of things in this industry.
The industry is horrible.
It is so horrible. But, man, I got a clean slate. Thank you, Jesus. Like, I can tell everybody, I didn't sleep with you to get this. I didn't go there to get this. I didn't snort that to get this. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my story.
Is the music industry really as bad as? Because I hear that all the time. That it's wild. Let's just say it it's wild when you get in there, and if you don't have a strong base, they'll twist you and turn you.
Oh yeah, like people can detect weakness more than anything. It's like, oh, you want something, and if they think that you want it so bad, and it's like before I want anything, I want to be a sane person. I want to be able to go to sleep at night. Like, I'm building a story here. Yeah. You are not in my storyline. Like, I don't want to have to say that I had to do this to get that. Like, I don't want to have to say that. The music industry will turn you into an alcoholic, drug addict. Like, we've all seen the stories, heard the stories, how you're going to get it. Why should they have to do that and you don't?
Yeah.
But when you have the talent and, hey, it is what it is. You need me to play at the end of the day. So it's like, let's just get it together. And I understand how it is with girls and guys. Mm-hmm. Like the law, it's an you're attracted to each other, but it's like you have to keep business, mm-hmm. and don't ever mix it up because the word will spread that you are hungry, thirsty, and if you offer her a little something, maybe she'll do this. I never, ever, ever let people get on that level with me, like ever.
Okay. No, that's dope, and you kept it real. I appreciate it because that's a real reality, and I've heard stories and things like that before.
I mean, you hear stories now you see stories. It's all over the phone, the web. It's all there.
It's
people
all over there,
and
and being a father, these are things and tools I can give to my daughter because I listened to something recently and like it seems like until men of our age and this generation become in power, that stuff is going on real bad because a lot of those guys would just feel like, oh, those are the perks of the power that I have.
Exactly.
And a lot of the guys in the music industry have been there for like ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, times are changing and stuff are changing. So hopefully it's a big change.
I've seen so many, like I'm a singer and I've always wanted to be a singer all my life before being a keyboard player, bassist, or drummer. I've always wanted to sing. I've been in all the major label places, like with other artists, playing for them. Mm-hmm. And just watching, I've never ever tried to rain on anybody's parade. I've never went there and be like, hey, I sing too, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I always had this kind of like, I kept my stance. It was just like, oh, y'all not about to get me out of character. I'm still the same person. Yeah. When I walk out of here, I'm still gonna be the same person. It's like I saw so many people just crash and burn because of the pressure. Like I've been with artists who were like, come with me to the restroom, taking out a bottle of Jack and drinking their lives away, like, and trying to go back and pull it off. But it's like, if they just stood their ground and was just being themselves the whole time, it's hard because you get these people who tell you, no, you have to do this, you have to do that. Well, where's the originality? So if you have to, why do I have to do it? You saw it somewhere else. Like, who taught Michael Jackson how to do the moonwalk? Like, who told him? Like,
it just happened.
What if somebody told him, ain't nobody doing that? Like, what? We would have never had the moonwalk. So you just have to know that, man, if you're going to really do this, and if you want to be original, you just got to be original and not do what people want you to do all the time.
Because I've said that several times to other people, like, oh, how do I do this? And I'm like, bro, if you're not yourself, you're going to run out of whatever you're doing. Yeah. It's going to run out. You can never run out of yourself. Mm-mm. You will always have yourself. So, but you want to do this or do that. Like, there's artists now. I listen to him a lot. I don't know, but Little Uzi.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, bro, are you really like that? Like, are you really like that? Because if you're not like that, we only have you for so many more years. Because you're gonna get to the point where you're just like, okay, I'm tired of doing this.
Right.
Stuff.
Like Paris Hilton was tired of sounding like a baby.
Yeah, like, come on now. Lil Wayne, I think that's a perfect example of drugs.
Yeah. Of drugs.
Drugs. And I'm just like, golly, you were so talented. And then you could just hear it in his voice over the years. And now he's just, I'm like, whatever, man. But that's another thing. I respect you for being yourself. Now, I do have this question. Do you feel like keeping it real ever hurts you sometimes?
Oh, definitely. I could have been made it. Like, definitely really hurt me. But it's like, I'm one of those kinds of people who I need to know what's real and what's not. Like, I had so many opportunities to just sell out. Like, yeah, I've played with so many people. I've done every award show. I did BET Black Girls Rock for 7 years. I met so many people, so many producers, the people that's behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I knew that the decisions that I made were because of what I understood at the moment. And I never punished myself for not doing something because someone asked me to do it, and I said no because I didn't know about it. Yeah. That's just, you live and you learn. This is my storyline. I don't have any regrets, but I could have definitely gotten to where I'm going faster, but I wouldn't have been as smart. So it's like, I'd rather bake the pie than put it in the microwave and have a raggedy ass pie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that sounds like your mama.
Yeah, man. This is from hanging around old people all my life. It really worked out in my favor.
No, and I think that's with a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people do take shortcuts, and they do things that may not be authentic to themselves, and that's when their careers don't last, or they get caught out super quick, and then they wonder, oh, why it didn't work out, why it didn't last. Was like, you did it the wrong way. You did it, you went against everything you believed in, or because you wanted to take a shortcut, or you wanted to do it this way, or somebody offered you this much money to release this crappy song, and now you did it, and it's just like, sometimes this doesn't doesn't work out. I think, like you said, staying true to yourself is like probably like one of the best things anybody could do. I think I think in the music industry, a lot of people, from what I see, I don't know, I'm not in there, but it does seem like a lot of people do lack that, staying true to themselves.
I think it's in anything that we do.
Well,
Because as a photographer, I've had people like, oh, yo, this is how so-and-so's doing it, and he's popping. Your stuff don't look like that, and you need to start doing it more like this, and then you'll pop. And I had to listen to it and take it in, and I'm just, he was saying it to me, in my mind, I'm like, boy, if you don't get your...
It's just like saying everybody like the color purple.
Yeah, if you don't get out of here with that, and if you don't have a strong foundation, you will crumble and say, yo, I need to do what so-and-so's doing so that I can,
Then you just keep chasing somebody else. It'll be another person that's hot.
I'm telling you, and that's because they decided to, I'm going to do what I want to do.
I think that's just right now, especially with the younger generation in the hip-hop industry, that's what they all feel like, oh, okay, I got to do this. I have to make this type of music. I got to have tattoos on my face. And they don't come from that. Like, they don't come from that background of, what I guess hip-hop or rap originally is, where it came from. So now they're trying so hard to live a life that they didn't live or that they're not a part of. And so the drugs start kicking in because they're forced to portray something on Instagram that they're not, arguing with people through Instagram Live, or just going back and forth through Instagram. Period.
Yeah.
Like, it's not who they are. Like, they're kids. Like, they're not out here doing the most craziest things. They come from.
I know, and I think it's a level of maturity, but I also think it's just like you said, you have a strong background. Like you have to have. I knew who I was, always knew. Growing up, I'm gonna share y'all some funny stuff. So, from my nickname was Little Shaka. So
Wait,
Lil Shaka?
You never told me this, bro.
So
Yeah, Lil Shaka.
So my dad would always speak strength into me because I seen the movie Shaka Zulu, and I understood what Shaka Zulu stood for at a young age. Like, all these imperialists were coming here trying to take away from him, and he said no. This is the way of my life, and I'm gonna fight, And I understood at the age of 4 or 5 what that meant. So my dad would always call me Little Shaka, Little Shaka, Little Shaka. So I always knew. I would literally go into situations and, what you mean? Like, do you know who I am? Do you know my background? I'm royalty, and it helped me out through all my life. But then you get to high school, then everybody's.
High school is so hard. Oh my God.
You get to high school and then you get broken down. Oh man, they beat you up there.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, middle school's not too bad, but high school, sure.
No, actually, man, middle school and high school is like rough.
I say that 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and then 11th, 12th. You're like, man, I'm just trying to get up out of here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out of here. Yeah.
So you went to school in Port Authur.
Port Authur,
right?
Texas.
How was growing up in PA and having, you guys had like Bun B and Pimp C, and having that like, because in Houston we had our guys, but it was like a bunch of dudes. But you guys had 2 people that you guys
like
could really. I mean, like, oh, they did a song with Jay-Z. Like, you could really tune in on that. How was that?
Well, Port Authur is a different kind of city. Like, Port Authur, it's hard to say this, but man, we really keep it trill. Like, everybody out there is a star. It's like, man, of course we made it. Of course we made it. And if we don't make it, it's because we don't want to no more. Like, that's the mentality that everybody in Port Authur has. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like seeing all these rappers make it and all this stuff. I remember sitting in a history class and my teacher saying, hey, you guys, Bun B is on the radio, blah, 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 blah. Talking about the people who made it from Port Authur. And everybody's like, yeah, I ain't gonna even lie to you. I'm such a square. And I just played in church all my life. I was like, but did I make an A? Like, I wasn't into the music. Like, I knew people was popping. But at the time, Port Authur was so big to me because I went from home, school, and church. I never went to any parties. I never went out. I was that kid who just lived and breathed what I was doing myself. And my mom's songs, like, she was Bun B. My mom was Bun B, okay? Like, my dad was the record label. Like, we had our own community. So, yeah, I saw them, and I was like, man, that's awesome. But it wasn't a thought of I could never do that. Like, it was just like, man, that's super awesome that they made it. Congratulations to them.
What I was saying is because, you know, I'm assuming, how many people in Port Authur, what,
55,000,
So I was gonna say
something like that.
50,000. So that's close when somebody like that blows up into that level. That's a close feeling, you know, versus let's say Slim Thug blows up and you literally have to be on the north side of Houston and then be from Acres Homes
Exactly.
to feel like, oh snap,
We know him.
we know him.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm on the southwest side of Houston. I'm like, yeah, he's from Houston. That's cool, but I don't feel it. So that's what I was saying. Like, you guys felt it when
We
they
felt
blew
it,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, that's dope.
We all felt it, and we all walked it too. Like, Port Authur is on the map, yo. Like, we out here. Like, we doing big things.
Can't tell us nothing.
No, we all felt it, and like the people who would go out and come back and tell me about them going out, it would be popping. Like, it would be popping. Like, girl, you know who's at the club last night? They actually came. Like, you know, Bobby, when they go out in Port Authur, they really put on for their city. Like, they never act like they was from somewhere else. Port Authur was their home, and you know that's what I really loved about them. They didn't change.
Oh, dope.
You know, I just have to tell the story though.
Oh,
Bombi. When I was doing the rodeo with Beyonce, that's when we were singing "Check It Out," "Check Up on It."
Oh yeah.
Ooh, boy, you looking like you like. So I just walked up to Bombi. He didn't know I was the keyboard player for Beyonce, and I was just like, man, we're from the same place. I'm from Port Authur too. He's like, and I think his wife looked at me like, who is this little girl? Like, okay, little baby. Like, okay. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, we're here, yo. I'm here with you. Like, we made it.
We made it.
He didn't understand until it was his time to come out on stage to rap, and he turned and looked at me, and I gave him one of those looks like, man, I was trying to tell you, like, I told you we out here, like, come on, let's do this. Like, I'm such a geek. But yeah, they finally figured out what I was trying to do. Should have told him I'm the keyboard player.
Oh no, you were just excited.
I was so excited.
So I mean, just real quick. I mean, so you clearly got the job, the gig with Beyonce. I mean, what is that like? Touring, just being on tour in general, but I mean, being on tour with somebody of her caliber, what is that like?
Man, a lot of people think that you get famous by being famous. Mm-hmm. No, you gotta work. Beyonce really works. And no matter how hard anybody try to hate on her, she is working, like, so much to the point I'm like, golly, you just don't want to go home and let us work without you being here? Like, that way I won't have to give it 100%, but I'm going hard. As long as you're going hard, I'm going harder. Like, and it was like she went hard every take. And when you are in production rehearsals, so you have your band rehearsals for a month, then you have your production rehearsals for a month. That's with band, dancers, and Beyonce. And so it's like when you're just running the show from top to bottom. That's a 2-hour show. Running the show from top to bottom, top to bottom. One day she was like, can somebody go get me a fish fillet from McDonald's? We were in production rehearsal. Somebody brought the fish fillet. And she had been working so much. This one's cold. Can somebody get another one? They got another one. Man, I'm so sorry. This one's cold too. But she deserved it. Yeah. She was out there not half-stepping. Not, some of these girls out here today, we ask them what they want to be in life. Man, I just want to be Instagram famous. Like, how? But are you going to be a singer? Do you play golf? Like, do you tennis? What's your marketing?
I'm going to show my butt.
Yes, I'm just going to show these good old cakes. No, Beyonce, being on tour with her made me realize that if this is what you do, you need to do it. What you waiting on? Like, playing that show 2 hours. Sometimes we had 5 shows in a row, and it's like, hey, this is what I'm out here for, and people just look at you and be like, man, you're so close to all the celebrities, you're so close to all the stars. man, I'm tired.
I ain't even worried about that.
Yes, like you get to a point where people are paying you to go out and show up at clubs, and it's like, oh, we're not just gonna Netflix and chill tonight. Like,
Sleep.
no, y'all don't wash your faces. We're going out after this. Let's go.
I have a little Beyonce story. So my fiance Jasmine, I won some tickets from the radio station, so I took her to the Beyonce show, and I had a friend, and he helped me get into the Beehive. So we got in the Beehive, and so mind you, before this, I'm just like, oh boy, y'all just crazy over Beyonce just cause. Boy, when I watched this show, like 30 minutes in, I was like, yo, you deserve everything that you're getting right now. Because what she said, she wasn't up there, because you really can't see Beyonce. Like, if you're in the Beehive, then you can kind of see her. But everybody else in the stadium can't really see her. She's not going up there doing all the head whips and stuff like, okay, let me get through this night. She's really out there like, pow, pow.
Yeah.
Like in my head would fall off how hard
Right.
she's going. And that was my first time of really seeing, I was like, yo, this woman is really, really talented. And on top of that, she's working super hard, because everything she did, all the dancers, everything was seamless. There was no hiccups and anything. And we're talking about this huge stage that's bigger than this building, and everything's moving, at one accord. So I can only imagine how much in the background has to go. It's not like you just show up and
just
plug in Beyonce and then it rolls. No,
Exactly.
I'm assuming it's hours on top of hours on top of hours for it to get like that.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
crazy.
When she's doing it, it's like, some people do takes. If you don't know what a take is, like when you are on film and you do the song. Okay, let's do it over because that wasn't good. She does it, and she goes home. Why? Because she's been practicing it all this time. Like, she got it right, and she's not worried about how does it look? How does it? Oh, she knows because she's been practicing it all this time. Talk about confidence. She has a lot of confidence. Like, one time we were doing this song called Sugar Mama, and I told somebody this story before, but she would sit in this chair and lean back with this fake cigar, and the lights was off, and at a certain time in the song, a spotlight is supposed to hit that chair, and she said something about some I want to be your sugar mama, like that. But she was smoking it, and you see the silhouette of the smoke going up it's a dark stage, you can't see her, you just see the smoke. But she must have blew that cigar so hard, all the ash just got on her face. So the lights were still out. She runs to my keyboard, she's like, is it still on my face? It's still on my face? And I just was like blowing. I think you're good, like that. So she just ran back, got her position, and just kept the show going.
And no one even knew.
No one even knew. She did, like, I don't know if y'all remember that time she fell in Orlando.
Yeah.
Ring the alarm. It was like, if she wouldn't have told nobody she fell, she could have easily played that off. Like, it was a dramatic fall. Like, she just got up and was like, oh, it happens. Like, I'm going to dance.
Oh,
but
Mike, I would have died. I'd
she's
have laid on the ground and just been like, oh, the world has seen me like this.
they're still coming back.
Somebody come get me. My career is over.
Oh, she kept it real, though. The next show, she was like, honestly feel like I've been beat up, but we're about to do this show. Like, I was like, man, there's nothing this lady cannot do. And I just took what I learned from that experience. I took that on every gig that I've done. Like, that's why I keep getting gigs. So,
because that's what we were speaking about that before we got on camera, that what I've noticed with a lot of successful women, you guys are super, so like a successful man's confidence is here, but a successful woman's confidence, it seems like it's up here. And I think it attributes to women having, not fair, but women having to work twice as hard. So do you think that women have to be twice as confident in certain situations?
honestly, I think that, and it's hard to say this, but when you know what you're doing, you just know what you're doing. Like, it's like, you have to be confident, but from how I think, my weird self, I feel like we have to have enough confidence to give to another human being that we can make inside of us. Like, you guys have enough confidence for yourselves. You can't produce. You can't reproduce. We have to have the most of everything to share, to give to somebody else. So it's like, I'm not just putting you on this world. I actually have to have some confidence for myself, and I have to boost your confidence level up too. So in order to boost your confidence level up, I have to be the most confident person, because how are you going to be confident if I'm not confident? How am I going to teach you confidence?
Podcast over with. Bye.
It's just how I look.
Mics.
And you know, and people, I am for women all day long. I've been sheltered, but I also have 5 passports, and I've been around, and I just peep things out. I'm not much of a, like, I know it doesn't seem like it, but I don't go around talking to everybody. So it's just like, I'm very observant. And women are the most powerful things. I'm sorry, guys, but you guys are powerful too. But it's like,
I see the power in my daughter all the time. She runs. So me and Jasmine woke up out of her sleep and cracked jokes on me for about 10 minutes because I put Milan in her bed and she's like, "Daddy, can you come and rock me?" And without even thinking, it was automatic. I was like, "Yes, baby." And she just was like, "Oh, really?" Like that? She just teased me.
Yes.
Oh, she got you.
Yeah.
And when a woman loves you and you accept that love from a woman, oh, that's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
And so I can
Exactly.
I attest. And then your mom.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I'm single mother, so single mother. She raised me. I was the only child. I was a little shit. So we had our tough times, and for her, just like you said, she had to give a part of her for me to be the person I am today.
Yeah.
Her strength, her confidence, all that she had to give to me, and then some for us to even be where we're at today. So it's man,
This is a podcast of gems. She is dropping gems on us.
But
man.
and at the same time, people are like, "Oh, I got to work extra hard at the workplace to get what," those situations happen. But if you have that mentality, they happen faster and more all the time for you. Like, I used to have this best friend in high school, and she was light bright, real light skin, like she just yellow bone, like whatever you want to call it. Well, and I'm chocolate.
For our non-African American viewers.
Yes. The pigments in her skin.
Yeah, so she light skin. And then in our, I don't agree with it in the culture. Lighter is, I don't know, whatever.
That's over.
That's
so
over.
it's
You see
like,
me?
the black and the berry. No, it's like she always, and I was a chocolate when she was we had our little thing going on. But it was like she was always looking for racism. And she was like, always getting racially profiled. Like, she was the lightest thing. You almost look white. How are you being? I've never had a racist thing happen to me because I wasn't looking for it. Like, if somebody was racist, I just thought you want to tell, or I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't in a mentality of looking for someone to say something racist to me. So if they said something to me about my hair, I would just be like, "Oh, it is like this, huh? Oh, my skin is like this, huh?" Like, I'm not looking for you. I'm not looking to attack you, like, because you said something about me. Half of it is because you don't even know me. So it's like, she would be like, "Oh, those white people didn't even want to touch my hand." I'm like, "Did you wash your hands first?" Like, man, because I know I'm not touching nobody's hand. It's like some things, it's not that serious, but we've, through the years, blown so many things out of proportion. It's like, some people really don't understand who you are. We look completely different. Of course they're going to stare at you. My hair is big. Of course they're going to look at it. Like, some little girl in the Walmart the other day, she was like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with your hair?" And she's laughing. I'm like, I'm laughing too, because it's like, you really don't.
You just don't know.
Yeah, it's like, that's cool to me. Your hair, you look at your straight hair all day long, and it's just like maybe your mom kept you sheltered like my mom kept me sheltered, and you just never seen this before. Why am I going to get offended? Like,
Yeah.
it's just having that kind of maturity about life and understanding and not looking for things. If you look to fail, you're going to fail. If you go to a job saying, oh, watch, they're going to give this guy a job just because he a man. I'm tired of this. Like, if you go there with that mentality, that's what you're going to get.
So you have a glass full mentality.
All right. So with that being said, tell us how the CeeLo thing happened.
Well, I got a call from their management team, and they asked me if I could do a couple of shows with them on keys. And of course, I jumped on it because it's like, oh, I've been tucked under Beyonce's wings all these years, and so yeah, let's try something else with a male, artist
Yeah.
that can really sing. CeeLo he's really talented. And we became a family, and I've just been playing with him ever since. And the difference between CeeLo and Beyonce's gig, CeeLo gives me more freedom to be creative in my own way. While Beyonce has her team, and everyone's talking about what the keyboard player is going to do, what the drummer is going to do.
Yeah, I could tell. It's a machine.
Yes, but with CeeLo, it's a little bit more organic for me, and he even had to tell me, hey, it's okay for you to give us your opinion. We need it. Like we value it. What do you think we should do? And that's when I was like, oh, okay. let me put on this hat, because you just can't go to a Beyonce gig trying to okay, I think y'all should do this. Beyonce, I think you should step over there and then just pop out. No, but it's different with CeeLo. And like I said, him even trusting me on all these different instruments, blows my mind. It makes me practice harder. So that's my new family right now.
And how long have y'all been working together?
For about 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 3 years.
And you just on sabbatical? Look at that. I said that right. Yeah, I got it all. Yeah, I'll be reading.
I'll be reading. Yeah, it was just a lot of love and, just relaxed. We were always relaxed. Like my boy CeeLo said, you gotta relax. It was just a good environment to create. And, he didn't just play his songs. We do Michael Jackson covers. So, man, that's the highlight of my night. I'm about to play this. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
On the drums? Oh, yes. Yeah. So it's a good team.
You have a single out now? Tell us about
I
that.
have a single out, and it sounds like it's a hard, mean single, but it's actually an anthem for all women, Can I curse for it?
Yeah.
So the name of my single is called Bitches Wanna Be Me. And, man, when I first made the song, I was on a family vacation with my brother Wash. He also has a song out, Can't Trust Thoughts, with French Montana. And
wow.
so, yeah.
Tell
And he
him
had
the
some. So he's like, what do you want to sing about? Because I've always been the square sibling, because I was always around my parents, and they always had the opportunity. My other brothers and sisters, they used to party while I was at church. But he's like, you just got to tell people what you really want to say. This is when I was getting separated from a relationship I was in. I have all these thoughts. It's that was a bad relationship. I want to say so many things, but I kind of steered myself to just say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had just gotten out of a relationship, and the guy had baby mamas who were just hating on me, for no reason. But they would always try to look like me. Oh, I'm wearing braids right now, so they're gonna get them braids, or I have gray braids, they're gonna get gray braids. My hair is straight, or they're gonna straighten their hair. And it was never a good thing. It was always oh, you think you're the only one that can do this, blah blah blah. I'm no, I'm just waking up for the day, and I'm just trying to look good for myself. But I just always felt like, man, these bitches really out here trying to be me. Like, why? You got to step it up. So I got this song. Hey, my brother was like, what do you want to say to the world? I was like, man, I honestly feel like these bitches want to be me. And coming from somebody else, it would sound egotistical, but why not be yourself? That's the best thing you could be. Like, don't be that. That's where I was coming from. And the song says, bitches want to be me, but they got to step it up. They got to step it up. Because I'm not out here, like, trying to be big. I'm really working hard while you just getting the surface of how I look and you trying to do this. You don't even know what I'm doing behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. I tell
Like,
everybody all the time, you get mesmerized. One, IG is the biggest lie.
Oh,
yes.
People will sell you the wolf on IG. Then on top of that, the people who are actually doing it, excuse me, that are actually doing, they're probably paying somebody else to do the
Yes.
stuff for them to make them look good.
Man.
And the ability to pay for somebody, like you're really trucking it.
Right.
So it takes a lot of work
Yeah.
to whatever you're seeing. When you see somebody successful, it's a lot of work in the background. It's never just showing up and showing out and just, hey, because
Exactly.
I'm this person or I'm this special or, and I'm not gonna say I hate this phrase, but sometimes some people take it out of proportion when they say I'm highly favored. I'm like, oh, you can be highly favored, but you still gotta work, bro.
Yeah, you gotta work. And it's like they didn't understand. They just thought that I was just trying to crush their dreams because, you know, he had two baby mamas who thought that he loved them just as much as, you know, he
Yeah.
loved me. But it's like, man, I'm not out here trying to get you. I don't even know y'all. I didn't meet y'all. I was like, I am not here for you. And so they always tried to compete. And I'm only competing with myself. Like, and that to me is like, I can never compete with you because you are you. I'm me right now. Like, what? I don't get it. So yeah, I wrote that song, "Bitches Wanna Be Me," and my story is I played keys for Beyonce under 21, and it made me a savage.
Yeah.
So when I see a new house, new car, new purse, boy, you know I gotta have it.
Yeah.
Ain't no telling what I might do next. Buy a house in Mexico. And I ain't worried about my ex on the next. And I'm stunting on all these hoes. Like, that's my song. So it's like, that's my story.
So
You might be a nurse and somebody might be hating on you because you just got a promotion. Nobody knows what your story is. You know, that's my story. That's why I think bitches want to be me. I just want ladies to put out there why they think bitches want to be them. And I say bitches because, man, it's bitches who hating on you. Like, guys too. Like, man, you a bitch hating on me like that. Like, why you hating on me? And I'm not like trying to say women are bitches. I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to say, man, they got bitches in the world that are waiting to see you fall. They don't even know, like.
So bitch is not. We're not using bitch as in a person. We're just using that as like the activities that you participate in.
Exactly.
See,
The
I take it
activity
more
of
as
hating.
as a feeling, like you feeling some type of way. Like it's just like you acting like a bitch.
Yeah.
You feeling a way. So why
If you dunk on somebody hating on you, man, that wasn't even like, dude, I did that last week. What are you talking? Man, bitches want to be me. Like.
Oh, you just dropping gems left and right, and you even used the word bitch. I like that. Oh, man.
So yeah, I never wanted to be. I'm a modest person, and I love everybody. I just don't. When I did the song, I just didn't want people to think that I was really that egotistical. Like, no, what's your story? Because I'm sure that, you know, some bitches out here trying to be you too. Like, I'm not the only one in life getting hated on. So
it was interesting because, like I said, I was listening to the song earlier, and that opening line, was, like you said, how you toured with Beyonce under 21, it made you a savage. I was like, it's just like stunt. So now getting to know you, hearing you talk, and you explaining everything, it all makes.
I don't like the phrase stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not taking it away from you, because how am I supposed to tell you about stuff that I've done? And some people, because to some people, it's like, oh yeah, you stunting. Like I'll tell somebody, let's see, I took, so Rolling Loud, there was something like that before back in the day in Miami. I think it was Summerfest, where they would just bring in everybody. And I shot that maybe like 8 years ago. 10. But if I tell you, oh yeah, I've been shooting in Miami before Rolling Loud was even out. I'm just telling you that. I'm not saying, oh, I'm big and I'm bad.
Like it's nothing.
It's nothing. I'm talking to you like da-da-da-da. So people just...
They have a hard time accepting your greatness. Like, you could tell people, man, I finally got my credit score up to a 780. And they'll be like, you think you better than me? Like, no. How would you... I just achieved something. Y'all been telling me to follow my dreams all my life, and when I finally get there, I can't tell nobody.
Well, I think that has to do with the people. I think it has to do with the people you tell too, because it could be somebody that has bad credit, or it could be going, oh, she's so like they don't want to see you happy, they don't want to see you shine, they don't want to see you doing something great. So when you go there and you're not stunned, or you're not bragging, you're just excited for the opportunity or the situation. They're like, oh.
Exactly.
He's stunned, he's bragging, he or she's doing this.
You got and as I've gotten older, and I didn't know that I was like this. Someone else told me this. You got to be around people who always. I want everybody around me to win.
Yeah.
Because if you win,
we all winning.
Because you around me, you might. Because you remember, I'll tell you, yeah, go do that. Because if you get out there and then say, I could be like, hey, Mike, I'm coming out there, man, and if anything you can do for me, thank you. It doesn't mean you have to do it for me, but it's just you're somebody now that I can, chime in instead of saying, nah, man, I don't know if you can do that, bro. Now you stuck here with me. And if I'm not winning, you not winning, I don't know. It's just the people you're around play a big role in that.
And it's funny because I was kind of in a little situation yesterday. I was at Prospect Park yesterday. And I was watching the game, and I was with a friend of mine, and she had Travis Scott had popped up. I didn't.
Oh, Travis Scott was at Prospect?
Yeah, Travis Scott.
What?
Yeah, but I didn't really. I mean, it was like, oh, okay, that's Travis. I didn't really care too much for him, but the other people that were with the guy, kind of the whole night, he kept mentioning like little things, like my homeboy just texted me about such and such and such. It's kind of like he was trying to like stun. I was like, I really wasn't. I really didn't care.
No, I mean, there's one thing when you talk about things that you've done, and then there's things where you try to manipulate a situation to seem bigger and better. That's what I mean by studying.
See, and that was the thing, because when she told me, oh, Travis is here, I was like, oh, like, not that I was brushing him off, but I really did not care at the moment.
Because you've been around him several different times.
And the dude, he was kind of like low key fanning out. And she had mentioned him, oh, he's a photographer, he's taking pictures of him. And one of my screen is actually a photo that I've taken of him. And so he was like, oh, like you've taken photos, you do this and that. I was like, I mean, yeah, but I'm not gonna sit here and brag about it. I'm not trying to stun on you. Like, he was saying something how he's like super close with Travis and this and that. I was like
that's dope.
Sweet.
That's tight.
No, I was like, that's cool, but like,
let me get your info. Put me in the door.
Yeah.
But it was a lie. That was the thing. He was trying to stunt, like make it a big. Then when you found out that I took photos, it was like, like,
yeah. When you try to manipulate the situation to seem bigger and better, that's stunning.
what I was like.
But so you walk in a room and someone's like, hey, what's a major thing you've done in your life? And you say, oh, I've been on tour with Beyonce for 7 years. There's somebody in the crowd who's going to say, oh, you think you somebody?
Who is this?
Now, if you were to be like, oh, me and Beyonce are best friends and we go out to eat dinner every time and da-da-da-da, that's because I was on tour. It's like...
Yeah, you're pushing it. All right. I just ask you.
Don't manipulate the situation, bro.
Yeah,
so that's when I feel like it's done. Just now. Or, guys on, we'll just use this, guys on Instagram with a bunch of jewelry and you live at home with your mother. And
throwing the $100 bills under ones on the table, like.
Then you got to pick it up when that phone cut off.
But if you really like doing well in life and you want to show it off, and not show it off, but show the world, and some people take that as motivation. Me personally, like after speaking with you, there's things that I want to do. And you saying the things that you said today have made me like, yo, I need it. Come on.
Yeah, man.
Get it done.
Like this Bitches Wanna Be Me record, I was touring with one of, so Jamie Foxx's manager is the same manager as another artist that I was touring with for just doing radio shows. And he had another management person there. And I was like, yo, I'm not going to mention his name, but I was like, I want you to check out my single. It's called Bitches Wanna Be Me. He's like, oh, don't put that out there. People are going to hate you. I'm like, no, this is my story. Like, he's like, I know it's true. Like, that's their problem, you know. I feel like, I mean, I'm not the time for me to worry about what other people are thinking about me. That's over.
Yeah.
Cause they got some people doing way, like, just going off we are so worried about what people are thinking when there's somebody out there just doing it big and more, just worse than you would be doing it, and they're getting the accolades. So just be yourself. That's coming back to that.
Huh?
So I'm putting the record out.
Oh, is it out yet? It's
on
already
iTunes, yeah.
So iTunes, where else?
Spotify, Tidal, Amazon, all your
Streaming services.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna make sure to put that link in the description so that
Sweet.
everybody checks it and could go and listen to it. We're gonna wrap this one up. Thank you so very much.
Love you guys. Thanks for having me. Yay.
Yeah, and thank you guys for tuning in to the Not So. Thanks for tuning in to the Not So Cool podcast, where we make not being cool cool. That's really funny, right?
Oh, that's good.
All right, man. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And
Chew.
we're doing-